Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I am glad I didn't scare you off with that last video of mine, especially because I was throwing the word around so much. This umbrella that I'm holding right now, it's here just for sheer symbolization. What this umbrella symbolizes is the word polygamy. The word polygamy is like an umbrella. It's one word that houses a lot of different components inside of it. Today we're going to talk about one of the different dynamics that falls under the umbrella of polygamy. I'm going to shed a little light on this subject for you guys, and this is one of the branches that touches a little kind of super close to home because polygyny is actually the dynamic that I'm currently practicing right now at this moment. My goal with this video today is to just give you guys a little insight into the world of polygamy and specifically into the world of polygyny. And hopefully this will give you guys a little more insight so that you won't be so out in the dark. You don't have to just go off of these crazy things that people just sometimes want to throw out there. Okay, so I'm gonna go put this umbrella back where I found it because obviously it's not raining in the house, and if it was, I'd be in deep shit at this point, I guess. We're gonna go a little bit deeper into the world of polygyny. And I'm gonna paint you guys a really clear picture so that you guys can understand that these practices were a part of our everyday life. These practices were actually something that we were encouraged to embrace. Okay, so today, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about polygyny. And what I want you guys to know about polygyny is just hands down, it is total opposite of what people have a generalized idea of. When people think of polygamy, they think one big orgy, everybody is together, all the men are humping on each other, the women are humping on each other. It's just one big ass orgy. And I will say that there are some poly dynamics that actually will get you pretty damn close to, if not in that orgy space. If that is what you are looking for, I will have videos to come on those dynamics as well. But we're going to start off at home. And I'm calling it home base because I currently am practicing in a polygyny space. And what that means for me is I am currently dating with the mindset that I am going to align myself with one man and then another woman. So if you are starting out with just that king, you're going to want to talk to him about what that living arrangement is going to look like. You know, how many women are we looking to bring? Okay, well, we don't have a cap on it. That's cool. We're cool with that. The next thing you're going to want to look at is, what is that setup going to look like? What is the living arrangement going to look like? Are you guys going to be in one household, or are there going to be separate households? I'll go into a little further detail of why those things are important up front. And after I go over those things, hopefully you guys will have an aha moment of where you're like, you know what? That makes complete sense. If you're going to go into this dynamic, then you're going to maximize the benefits that you're pulling from this whole setup, then you want to be very smart about it. You don't want to go into a dynamic where you guys are going to actually be losing resources. You're losing energy. So we'll talk about that a little more in detail in just a few minutes. Another key point that you guys want to talk about as a collective, and like I said, if it's just you and your man and you're starting out, then you and your man, you guys want to talk about this in detail. Okay, so as far as the women goes, babe, do you expect me to be intimate with this woman? Because you know that I'm not attracted to women. So, you know, these are things that you want to be upfront with your man about. If you know that you're not attracted to women, you want to be upfront with him and say, hey, babe, I don't want to have to share an intimate space with another woman. I'm going to link a video here because I literally just went on like a 7-minute tirade about why women don't have to be scared of eating pussy, because you don't actually have to. And I keep using that word, and I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's such a vulgar word. You said the word pussy. It's really not that big of a deal, okay? I mean, you can call it whatever you like to call it. You can refer to it as your vagina. You can call it your pocketbook. You can call it your magic bag, your fun bag. You can call it your vajayjay, your hoo-hoo. Whatever you decide to call it, it's yours. Cherish it, love it, take care of it. I'm going to continue to refer to it as a vagina, as pussy, as whatever I decide to refer to it as. So now that we've actually gotten past the misconceptions of what people have put into their minds, because you guys just like to, it doesn't matter what we say. You guys don't have to, okay? I said you don't have to. Don't worry about it. You're good to go. Trust me. Don't I look trustworthy? Would I lie to you? So now, before I go into the benefits, let me paint you guys a picture here. Right now, there are currently millions more women, millions, not hundreds of thousands. There are currently millions more women than there are men. We're continuously having babies. Not all of the babies being born are going to be males. There are still females that are being born. So if men are already outnumbered and we're still having babies and we're still producing more women, then that number is going to continuously increase. It's actually estimated that by the time we get into 2024, women are going to outnumber men by about 20 million. That's a really scary number, okay? We already have way too many women running around untamed. They're out here doing whatever the hell. There's no men in sight. And if we continue to add to that number, the job that we're gonna have to keep everybody contained and to keep things balanced and to keep the energy flowing, that shit's gonna be out of control. There's no way that we're going to actually be able to keep up with that. So I put that number out there to say that we could benefit from one man taking 2 or 3 women, and not just taking them to say, these are my property, these women belong to me. You know, that's not what we're doing here. We're talking about an able-bodied man stepping up and saying, yes, these are 2 beautifully accomplished women. I would love to add myself to your equation. I would love to take you and add you into my equation, and for us to actually build and cultivate from there. You know, we're not talking about, oh, we're trying to clean up the streets. Come get these women. Come get you 2 or 3 of these women. It's a lot of women. We're not just giving the women away. It's not a free-for-all. Come pick you up 2 or 3 women. That's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is actually saying, go out, meet people, form bonds, connect with people. Realize that you actually can connect with more than just one person. You can love more than one person at a time. You can build and cultivate and grow with more than 1 or 2 people at a time. I think that's what this whole journey is about. It's not about just, that's why we have multiple relationships. That's why you know, a lot of marriages don't last, and people get married at such young age. By the time they're in their mid to late 20s, they're seeking a divorce because you married this person when you were a child. And this journey is about us growing and elevating, changing. And the person that you were 10 years ago rightfully should not be the person that you are today. So when we talk about the benefits, there would be less women on their own trying to figure out how to raise these children, trying to teach these young men how to be kings when they grow up. That's a difficult task when it's coming from a woman who 9 times out of 10 was raised in a similar broken home, and she may not have even been fed into the proper way of how to actually carry yourself as a queen. So the odds are stacked up against us at this point. And so what it's about right now is it's about assembling your team, right? It's about you meeting people, cultivating these relationships, and assembling your team and saying, hey, you know what? I have 1,000,001 brilliant ideas, but I lack the ability to actually take those ideas and turn them into something tangible. Well, now you have this woman, and that's what she majors in. She majored in business. All you have to do is spit out a few ideas to her, and next thing you know, she's coming in the living room and putting on the big screen TV a big ass PowerPoint presentation of your idea. She's now taking your idea and she's put it into something tangible that you can look at and actually say, you know, shit, I've had this idea in my mind for 5 or 6 years now, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. And now you've got this woman that took it and turned it into magic, you know? It's about building these relationships, forming your team, putting a kick-ass team together so you can go out here and change the world. So, you know, when we talk about cultivating and sharing our resources, it's exactly what we just talked about. You get people together that have various different talents, talents for growing things, talents for building things, managing things. If your talent is, you know, singing, sewing, whatever the case is, you know, you could teach the children, you could school the children and educate them classically, you know, train them in the different genres of music, in the different genres of dance. These are things that we don't actually think about, oh, because you can't necessarily take this talent and go outside and in 5 minutes come back with some money. This is true. Some of these talents, you may not be able to just immediately turn them into money, but that's why you have the mindsets that will cultivate and coin empires. Like, we need people that have the mindset that can visualize an empire and say, all right, this is what we're building. And just go for it. You know what I mean? Like, you can actually do that. So when we talk about cultivating and building together, like everybody putting their money together, putting their credit scores together, putting their assets together, putting their investments together, putting their lands together, just putting their brain powers together, putting their energies together, so that way we can get on that same level and we can elevate to a higher frequency as one, instead of constantly fighting each other and getting absolutely nowhere. Like, that shit is tiresome. We're literally getting nowhere at the rate that we've been going. So it's time for us to try something different. At least I think that it makes sense to try something different. Besides cultivating and building and putting all your resources together and maximizing your growing potential, besides doing that as a family, this is also going to decrease STDs and abortions. We're sharing a consensual space. I know about her. She knows about me. We're living together. You know, everything is good. It's not like nobody's sneaking around, nobody's lying, nobody is trying to get over on each other. This is something that we are going into as open-minded adults, and there's no need for us to lie. And so the risk of STDs because somebody is out cheating and sleeping with whoever else is going to be reduced. I'm not saying that you won't have some dumbass that will have two beautifully, intellectually well-rounded women sitting at home, and then he's still out trying to fuck on, you know, who knows, the hooker next door. You're going to still have that because there are some people that are just not elevated high enough to the point to understand what this actually means for us as a people. But then you will have those men that understand completely, and they're not going to be out here in the streets. They're not going to be out here hoeing around because they value what they're building. They value what they have at home. And so you'll see a decrease in STDs, and you'll have more women that are happy to be carrying these children. They feel blessed to carry these children because they're now equally yoked with a man that understands what their power is and what their rightful position is. And he's installing that woman into that position. And so she wants to generate that life. The polygamy dynamic would help us to be able to get back to that. It wouldn't be that shameful thing of where, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm a single mom, I'm here out on my own struggling to do it, versus now you're bringing home this baby and now you have 3 or 4 able-bodied, mentally stable people that are going to provide and care for this child. So it's a beautiful thing. Just overall safety, having more men around and having the women around and the men actually rallying around them and the children, that's a no-brainer. We're safer. It's safer. There's safety in numbers for one, and then also women in general, when we're left on our own, we're easy prey. And I know a lot of women, you know, unfortunately have had to be subjected to those types of situations to actually understand that, yes, we are strong. Yes, we are resilient. Yes, we are, you know, we can do anything that we put our minds to, but do we need men? Yes, we do. Do we need them to provide safety and security for us? Yes, we do. Do we honor them for that? Absolutely. I honor you, brothers, because I know that there is no one on this earth that can protect me better than that. There is something to be said about a man that protects his tribe, a man that protects his flock. And so we need to get back to that. People ask me all the time, like, why am I so headstrong about living in this type of dynamic? Why am I so set on educating my people and for what polygamy could do for us as a people? And honestly, I come to the conclusion that it just boils down to this. For our children, for our little girls, for our little brown girls to see us as women embrace each other, you know, for us to embrace each other and to love on each other, for our daughters to be able to see us to come together and not hate on each other. I'm not picking you apart. I'm actually helping you assess yourself. I'm helping you to pull yourself together. I'm being your reflection. I'm showing you who you are through me and vice versa. And we're feeding each other that way. So if we're now showing our daughters this, fucking Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Meg the Stallion, none of those, I shouldn't have said that. So all of those females that I just named off, all of those prominent female examples that our little girls are looking at and they're looking up to now, they won't be able to tell our kids shit. Like, it doesn't matter how much twerking, how much ass smacking, how much weed smoking. It doesn't matter how far and outrageous these things get. It doesn't matter, because if we're raising our children in these elements and if we're showing them that women can love each other, Black sisters don't have to be mean. Black sisters don't have to be angry and pissed off all the time. Black sisters don't have to degrade and beat and talk down on each other and tear up the men, talk down on the men, call them all kinds of bitches and hoes. That's not what we're about. And we don't have to be reduced to just being known for that. So, I mean, I guess what it all boils down to is, at the end of the day, when we look at the grand scheme of things and what we are all striving for, what I believe that we are all striving for in today's time is just to be better. To know better is to do better. And I gotta be honest, guys, the way that we've been living and the way that we've been treating each other, we're not doing better. And it's really sad because we know better. So now when I think about the benefits of polygyny, and we think about the living situations, for me, I want everyone living in one house because my whole goal is to maximize all of the resources that we have. So living in separate homes for me wouldn't make sense for my dynamic, because I'm not looking to spend more money. Now you have 2 or 3 mortgages. Now you have 2 or 3 sets of utility bills. Now you have 2 or 3, sets of lawn care. Now it's just, you're exhausting your resources instead of actually conserving them. If we could just start thinking just a tad bit smarter, guys, just working a little bit smarter and not working as hard as we've been, because I feel like we work super hard against all of these things. And as people are constantly pumping out suggestions and saying, hey, what about this? Why don't you try this, try that? There's always excuses as to why that won't work because of this won't work because of that. Actually, listen, shut up, please. Be quiet for a moment. Listen to your inner voice. Sit down, have a conversation with your ancestors. Talk to them. They're going to actually tell you. Duh. We've been trying to tell you guys this for the longest. They're going to look at you like, duh. Hello. Welcome. We've been waiting for you guys to join us. And the good thing about this, people, is that it's never too late. So I'm giving you guys some homework. Go out, research, look up the different poly dynamics, and even if it's not something that you are willing to jump into tomorrow, I want you guys to come back and drop me some comments and let me know, if you were to try a poly dynamic, which one would you go for and why? I'm just curious to know. I'm nosy as fuck, okay? I told you guys that in the beginning. I wonder if I just swing it like this. Maybe I should put it. Thank you guys for watching. As you see, I found my umbrella. I would like to just wish you guys love and peace. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Peace and poly.